live here. Got it. All right. There we go. Getting my page all squared away. Here we go. Share screen, share. And go. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Today is the 29th of December, the last one of the year, and we're going to get, we're getting ready for next year and all the topics we're going to talk about next year. But I think this is a great topic today. Debbie and I are going to talk about SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So some ideas and thoughts about what's in real estate, what's stuff that's different, a little bit different now, but it's always been there in real estate. Nothing happening today is different than it wasn't sometime in history of real estate. So we're going to go over strengths with you and within real estate, weaknesses with real estate and you, opportunities, and threats to real estate and you. So I'll let Debbie take the first slide. Go ahead, Deb.
Okay, so SWOT is something that you need to do with your business plan so that you can get organized and help figure out you and your business and what your strengths are. So strengths, your skills, your personality traits, your passion, what could those possibly be, right? Maybe you're a very thoughtful person, or you're honest, or you do a lot of follow through, or you're very friendly, or you're very open to suggestions from other people. Those are strengths. So think about your strengths and write them down. I do have a little sheet that you can use if you want to use it. All you got to do is just let me know, or you could make your own. But the bottom line is to try and figure out what your strengths are so that you can use those. And maybe you can't. Maybe you're not a person who doesn't like to analyze themselves, or maybe you've never done an analyzing of yourself yet. Ask someone close to you that you know, or ask a coworker, hey, can you give me some ideas of my strengths? And they'll do it probably gladly.
Exactly. Sometimes the people closest to us will be 100% honest with us, good or
Yes.
bad. But also through our Century 21 agents, we have our real satisfied reports that go out to our clients, and you could every agent has access to that, right, Deb? It could go right on 21 online and send out the surveys or remind the people of the surveys, and it goes through, are they really satisfied with this area, that area? So some people are totally happy with you, but I always say, if you really want to get to know, at the end of a sale, tell your people that a survey is coming, and tell them to please be brutally honest with the answers there to help me build my business. So maybe the communication wasn't, they're satisfied with you and happy with you, but maybe like, the communication wasn't there, or, the empathy, whatever, all those different questions, right? Have you seen more and more agents using the questionnaires and getting some good feedback or bad feedback?
The ones that we do get back that we see that come to the office, most of the time, y'all, it's 5 stars. And those are really good to be posting on your Facebook, your social media, whatever platform you use, your realtor.com, your Zillow. You can post all those on your website, and people look at reviews. Okay, so don't be afraid of them. This is something that goes out once you close with us. You do not have access to put people in there and send reviews out, because they don't want anything to get manipulated, because those the Real Satisfied also goes with the Quality Service Award that Century 21 provides at the end of the year for good agents. But yeah, you can also use Google reviews. Ask people for a Google review. They can just go to HomeStar's Google page and write a review for you on there if they want to do so. If you feel that someone's going to give you a good one. But if someone gives you a negative review, try not to be crushed by it, but take the consideration of criticism and see, is it true or is it not true, and see if there's something that you need to change. That would be like in your personality traits, as is this a strength of mine or is this not? For a long time, constructive criticism was criticism was really bad for me because I took everything personally. And sometimes you just can't do that. You have to separate your feelings from your work and see, do I need to strengthen something here? Are they right? And passions could be that maybe you love helping elderly people. Okay, so you should get that senior designation, right? Because that's going to help you. Maybe you're a vet or a veteran, and or you know a lot of veterans and you want to get that military designation. Those are your strengths. Think about things outside of the box because they will help you in your business.
Exactly. Good stuff. And then next, weaknesses. Everybody has weaknesses. But I when I coach agents, maybe do the same thing, Deb, is that when they talk about weaknesses, people think that they're completely like zero, like I can't do something. Now, weakness is something that you could build and get better at. So you might be okay at something, communication, prospecting, helping people, but it's not a complete zero. If you're giving yourself 1 out of 10, but weaknesses to me is like any area where you think I could do better. Well, like just one thing is if you don't have enough business, any agent says, I'm trying my hardest, I'm doing this full time, I don't have enough business. I don't even have to know what you do every day, but one of your weaknesses is prospecting. It's just there.
Yeah.
You know that without even going into detail.
I should have put that on here.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's all right. But go ahead. I'll let you go through the next points.
Your listing presentation might be a weakness. Your buyer's consultation might be a weakness. So you agents with Homestar, if you want help with your buyer's consultation, I have a beautiful buyer's guide that I made for you all. It's in Moxie Works, and you can use that to help you when you're talking to buyers. Document knowledge, maybe that's one of your weaknesses. Maybe your strong point is you can actually speak to people and you're very good at the sale part of it, but when it gets to the paperwork part, you're all thumbs, right? So let's try and improve that. Get with me or Tony, probably me because I'm more thorough, and we'll do a Zoom and we'll go through the documents so that you do understand them and why you have to have certain things in your purchase agreement that protect you or protect your buyer. Okay,
Exactly.
just little things like that.
And a little scripts, like so many times I tell agents, especially the new ones, and some of them get nervous and like, well, what happens if someone asks me a question? Well, you have to have a script, you have to have objection handling, and something simple as this, like, hey, if someone asks you any type of question you don't know, I said, oh, no problem. I'm not too sure 100% of that. I'm going to double check with my office manager or broker, so I give you the complete 100% perfect answer back. Just give me some time to get back to you. Something as simple as that. You don't need to know everything. You could go find out the answers to that. So some agents, especially when they're newer, I'm kind of nervous when people are out there. I said, with today's technology and communication and getting through the office or texting and email, we could get, you're not going to go more than 24 hours without an answer, sometimes within seconds or minutes, but just you have to have some type of thing. So that's where I'm thinking of the credibility is, so with that, the first thing that comes to my mind with weaknesses of agents is just explaining to people that you're going to go and double check, triple check, get the perfect answer, collaborate with people in the office that work for you, like Debbie and myself, and make sure we give you the right answer, if that makes sense.
Right. Even Carly and Julia, you all use them. They know a lot. We've taught them a lot. So.
And next, threats.
Okay, so strengths and weaknesses, those are things you can control. Here's things that maybe you cannot control. Those are threats, right?
Right. Well, threats, I think, again, I've been in the business 30 years. There's always been the similar, there's a point in time in real estate markets that I could take this exact slide and put it in another time. So, but I really don't tell agents they're not really threats. They're just normal stuff that's always going to be. There's always going to be times of low inventory, high inventory. Like example, a threat to a seller is high inventory. but that's a threat to us as an agent. Low inventory, very high inventory means prices are going to be lower. It's going to be a buyer's market. So we're just talking about threats to you. High interest rates. Does a seller really care about the high interest rates unless they're buying? No, they just want to look for a buyer, but the buyer is upset. They're paying more for per month. So basically, there's always going to be these kind of markets, but as long as, and I talk to our agents every day, and as long as you concentrate your business, I'll give you the tip on getting through high markets, low markets, whatever. If you are concentrating on always finding people that always, when they're ready, they need to buy and they need to sell. It doesn't matter where the market is. So when someone says, hey, I need to buy, I'm getting married or having kids, I need to buy a move, starting a new job. Example, especially we have several young agents. I have a couple that are still in college that have their license now. So stay on top of your friends. They're going to buy a house someday.
Yep, absolutely.
It doesn't matter if the interest rate's 9%, 3%, they're going to get a job someday after college and they're going to buy a house somewhere. Not too many people, there's a low percent are going to rent their whole lives, but they're buying a house. It's just what's the time. So any other things you have thoughts about threats wise?
I just realized that we're not SWAT, we're SWIT. We forgot the O. It's probably on the
opportunities next. Okay, that's right. Oh, yeah, we have. Did we miss that one?
I forgot the O.
I didn't even notice that when I was going.
That's all right. Well, we can get back to it
we
because it's on this one too. But
We'll
other threats might be email security. Make sure we talked about all this just recently too. Your passwords, your email security, electronic device disposal, things like that could be a threat, but you can use your strength of knowing things to fix that threat. So that's what this is all about, taking your SWOT and using the left side to fix the right side as much as you possibly can. We forgot about opportunities. Yeah. So opportunities is the O in SWOT, which I forgot the slide, and I'm very sorry about that.
I went through it too, and I missed that too. But opportunities, there's always opportunities. There's always people buying or selling a house. And I've said this many times in many videos, even when the COVID came and the pandemic came and they shut things down, I said, wow, this is the one time in history that real estate shuts down. And it didn't. Right. People were stuck. They couldn't leave the house. The title companies were closed. What do people do? I got the calls. Our agents got the calls. Goes, I don't care. I need to close. I need a place to live. I have a contract. I need to move. There's people buying my house. That it didn't care. It didn't matter. And I think the whole world and or country saw that. You can't shut down people moving and have to move. You just can't. There's no way. So they quickly figured out, title companies like we got to figure out how to close these and even close. We had to figure out that the counties had to figure out, we have to transfer titles. How do we do this? We can't, just because we're closed, we have to figure out a way that people can continue to do this. You can't just shut that down. So the great thing that we learned is there's always opportunity of, there's nothing in, knock on wood, as far as I have seen in 30 years, I don't, there's going to be something where people have to move. So as long as there's always opportunity if you concentrate on people. And just not to go way off tangent, but I have broker friends, agent friends that all across the country, and their business is zero now. Some of, not the whole companies, but some agents, because they were focusing on new construction in a certain area, and they were very centralized. They were focused on like people buying second homes, people buying investment properties, people, not people that have to move. It was a good opportunity for them to buy something, like when the time is right, like, okay, I'll buy a second home. Maybe I'll buy a vacation rental. Maybe I'll buy some more rental properties. Maybe I'll just do new construction and just do new construction. And now in certain areas, because you can't, there's certain area now, there's not enough business in one aspect. So there's always going to be opportunities out there. So,
right. And along with your opportunities, make sure that you're talking to people at the grocery store, the bars, the festivals, going to vendor events so that you can meet more vendors. So you have other things in your arsenal when you're talking to people. Join a BNI group that's looking for a real estate agent in theirs. That is a great opportunity to reach out to others and get things going on there. So using all of these things together, see what is the common denominator and see what, if there's any way that you can use something like this to build your business and focus on things that you have to work on because you're strong in other points. My example here is a strength of having a CRS designation, and they have a new Amazon facility that was built over in Northfield and one in Euclid. Okay, so, but maybe you're a mother who has 3 young children at home, because we do have some agents like that too. The threat to you thought was the pandemic because you don't want to go out into the public. But now you have this new Amazon facility, for instance, that was built. Contact them and see if you can be an Amazon preferred real estate agent where for people who are transferring into this area that need a place to live because they're going to work there. You know, different things like that. Sherman-Williams downtown expanded a couple years ago, and we had an agent who signed up with them right away as an agent that could work with them to get referrals and help because he was doing his due diligence and checking out things that were happening in our area.
Yeah, I get those questions a lot, like agents ask, so how do I do relocation? Well, big companies have certain relationships with certain companies sometimes, but majority of companies don't. They don't pick because one company to send all their relocation through. And so we have had agents that contact human resources and just call and get a hold of the right people or stop by or figure out a way to go in there. There's no right way or wrong way. It's just getting through to somebody somehow and be the squeaky wheel sometimes. So a lot of agents go, what exactly do I have to do? I go, find the number.
Yeah.
Just call the company, get a hold of people. Well, you know, we have agents that are doing it and have done it. I can't, and then I say this always, a little disclaimer. I tell all of our agents, and one of the reasons several agents have joined our office is that we keep that confidential. So when you ask us, me and Debbie, like, hey, what company can I call? Whatever, we're not going to give you a number and say, okay, this is, 216, whatever. You talk to Joe Smith and you could get in the relocation, because we would tell our agents if you make that connection, we're not telling that to someone else. So this is all confidential. That's another reason. So if you ever call, working with Debbie and I, we can't give you specific numbers and this company because we keep it confidential. We don't want someone else's hard work. We don't want your hard work. So, you could open up to us, say, hey, I have this great contact. I call this company. I'm doing relocation. Let's work this out, and we'll help you build that. And it's confidential. We're not going to tell another agent who your contact is and who's doing that. So you can open and honest with us internal in the office, because we don't share that. So I wanted that disclaimer both ways. One, tell you why we can't give them that. Two, feel comfortable knowing that your information is confidential with that. So let's go on to the CE cast is coming up.
Okay, so I don't have Mike Ferrante's schedule for January and February yet, but I do have Hash. Hash gave us quite a few the next 4. So he gave us the first quarter of his classes. So he's got quite a few of them. You can go to ohioce.net to sign up for his classes. And if y'all know Hash, he's the greatest teacher ever. He really keeps you engaged and very informative stuff. The one about bankruptcy, if you have not learned about that yet, go there because he breaks it all down for you. The real estate economic outlook is also a good one because he follows the gross national product and he knows what's happening, and he's pretty right on with his predictions and stuff, I think.
Yeah, please hit those courses, get that free CE. And last, spark your business. Happy New Year. What do you think? What kind of ideas do you have for that?
If you're
One
giving out
picture.
wine for the new year, you can put your little business card on there just like that. But as always, just always remember that you're always contacting people. You always, always, always want to talk to people about being a real estate agent. A lot of people get weirded out because it's like, I'm not a salesperson. Well, no, you're not, but you are.
And
So
another tip that I learned a long time ago is that New Year's, like how far do we go into the new year when we stop saying Happy New Year, right? It's definitely through January, right?
yeah,
So you don't have to do all of this like Happy New Year the day of, the day after. You have a whole month to celebrate New Year's or wish people a Happy New Year. Or if it was a past client or someone who given you referrals, giving them a gift. And great thing after the holiday season after the New Year's, that's when the deals are happening. So if you need to invest in gift giving of just saying hello and thank you for your past business, again, you're allowed to give people gifts as long as it's not directly for business, like a closing. Like example, just to give you an idea, if you tell someone, hey, you give me someone, connect me with someone that might be buying or selling a house in the future, I'll give you a cup of coffee or a gift card or a bottle of wine. You're allowed to pay for or gift give to people for leads, because we do that as agents all the time. We pay Zillow, we pay realtor.com for these, but we can't pay like, hey, when someone closes with me, I'm going to give you a $500 gift card. You can't pay for closings. You can give people gifts all the time. So sometimes people forget that, like when, because
and it can't be money though. It has to be a gift card.
Correct. And a lot of people get worried that like after a closing, can I gift someone? Well, when it's right after a closing, it can very much look like a kickback. You're giving someone a big gift card or something like that. So I tell agents, give them something small, something of momentum or something, so just to thank them. But for the next 10 years, every year on their anniversary of buying a house for you, or for, you could give them a bottle of wine at the beginning of the year, because the deal's already way done. It's already done. Now you're just giving a past business. I give them like, I know Mike Ferranti does pie days. They're giving them pies to all their past clients and things like that. So you can do that as long as it's not like right after closing, looks like cash,
Right.
and you're giving it to them as a kickback for buying a house through you. They can't do that. So if you ever want to double check on what you can and cannot do to give to people during the holidays or whenever, just check with Debbie or myself. So that's it. Any other final thoughts, Deb?
Just keep it simple. I know that SWOT looks really, really complicated, but it's not. Just jot a few things down in each one of those categories, and you'll be surprised how everything starts to click for you. If you need any help, just let us know.
That's great. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday in the new year. So have a good day.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.